we were at this particular slide of CO attainment calculation. So we have seen that using this particular table, we can calculate CO attainment by individual assessment tool, and then using this particular methodology, we can combine individual CO attainments to a consolidated CO attainment, which has weightage of all the assessment methods, right? So now let's move further. So once we have calculated COs, then next step is to calculate POs, PO attainments. Again, in PO attainment, we have that same levels of attainment, attainment level 1, attainment level 2, attainment level 3. So to calculate PO attainment, we need COPO mapping. So we have this COPO mapping for each subject. So in that mapping also we show the mapping by this 1, 2, 3 or low, medium, high. Or when there is no mapping, we show y dash or we leave that particular cell blank. Like if you see this particular table, so now you can see that this is a COPO mapping table. This is an example of COPO mapping table. Here you can see that this is the semester, this is the subject particular ID, then this is subject code, this is that course name of the subject, and say these are the 5 COs, right? So now there will be CO statements. So on the basis of CO attainment, we do COPO mapping. So while doing the COPO mapping, we assign the strength of mapping. So strength of mapping can be 3, 2, or 1. Okay, 3 means maximum high mapping, 2 means medium mapping, and 1 means very low mapping, right? So if there is no mapping, then we write the dash. So we are considering this high as 3, medium as 2, low as 1. In some particular COP mapping tables, we also write low, medium, high. But for the calculation purposes, we need these numerical digits 3 to 1. So we write those low, medium, high as 1, 2, 3, right? So once we have this COPO mapping, then we can calculate PO attainment, right? So for PO attainment, first thing required is this COPO mapping table. Okay, and another thing is that we need the CO attainments which we have calculated on the previous slide. So from the CO attainments and COPO mapping table, we can go for the PO attainment calculation. So let's move further.
Sir, can you go to the previous slide, please?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Previous one.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, previous to
This,
this one. Yes.
So here now this 1, 2, 3 is showing the association of strength of mapping, right? So earlier 1, 2, 3 we used as the attainment level. So now we will be using two types of 1, 2, 3. So in COPO mapping, that 1, 2, 3 signifies the strength of association or strength of the mapping. In attainment calculation, we are having those 1, 2, 3 values as level 1, level 2, level 3, right? So, okay, any question related to this slide, please?
No, sir, it's okay. Fine.
Yeah. So in this COPO mapping table, these values, this 3 or this 2, these are not the attainment values, but these are the association or strength of the, we can say, mapping, right? So these values. So once we have this PO mapping table and we have calculated CO attainments as I described in the previous session, then we are ready to calculate PO attainments, right? So now again for PO attainments, we'll be having both types of methods, direct methods as well as indirect methods. So in direct method, we have seen those methods like university exam, internal test, assignment. So we have done that. Actually, the CO attainment calculation which I have shown, so that is using all the direct method only. So indirect method I will be showing for PO attainment. Okay. So direct method CO attainment we have to take. Similarly, indirect method CO attainment we can also do. So I will be showing indirect method of PO attainment calculation. So same method can be applied for indirect method of CO attainment, right? So that can be applied. So we'll be doing this PO attainment calculations using both direct as well as indirect method. So now this is the table which is showing PO attainment calculation. So you need to understand this table very carefully, because this is the table which is used for PO attainment calculation using direct methods, right? So please try to understand this table. So this column is course. So that means this particular table is shown only for two courses. One course is C301, second is named as C302. So that's why it is written here. Here only two courses are taken. For actual calculation, all courses are to be taken, right? So only this slide is showing only two courses. In actual, there will be all the 35, 40 courses which are required for this PO attainment calculation. So all the courses will be taken. So for each course, we'll write the course outcomes. Like this is, you can see this particular course is having 6 COs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Similarly, the second course is again having 6 COs, right? So now these numbers, these particular this attainment level column is, so these are the those values which we calculate for the CO attainments, right? So CO attainment for this particular CO of this course is 1.5, this is 2.1, this is 2.4, 2.5, 2.4, 2.7, like this. So these are the CO attainment values for this particular course, calculated using the approach which I have described in the previous session. So from those calculations, we get such values, like I will show you again. So you can see here that for this particular subject, the CO attainment is 1.67, CO2 attainment is 2.33, CO3 is 3, CO4 is again 3, CO5 is 2.33. So if we have to calculate PO attainment for PO attainment using this particular CO attainment, then these values 1.67, 2.33, 3, 2.33, such values will be considered for the PO attainment. So in this particular slide, so these column A values are showing that type of values for these courses. So this course is different from the earlier example. So that's why these values are different. So earlier we had taken example of a course having 5 outcomes. So but here for these example calculations, so we have taken 2 subjects with 6 COs, and attainment level of each is calculated using those kinds of calculations, and those attainment levels are written in this column A. So you can see this has been marked as column A, right? Now you can see here PO1, PO2, PO3 up to PO12, then PSO1, PSO2, PSO3, 3 PSOs. So these PO columns as well as PSO columns. So you can see that these entries which are shown under these columns, so these are the those COPO mapping strengths, right? So this one in all columns shows that mapping of this PO with these COs is very low. That means its strength is written as 1, and this second subject is not matching at all with the PO1. So this is not having any mapping, right? Similarly, these ones and twos, these threes, all these values which are written under these columns, so these are showing the strengths of the mapping. So these are basically written from the COPO mapping tables. So this is okay. Is there any question? Is there any query?
No, sir.
Okay, so kindly whoever has unmuted mic, please mute your mic if you are not having
Sir, I'm
query.
muted. We can continue, sir.
Right. Thank you, Kamal. Okay, so these columns are COPO mapping columns. So these values have been taken from the COPO mapping table. So these are the values which we have calculated for the CO attainment using the procedure which I described in the previous session, right? So now for the PO calculation. So first we'll be seeing this PO attainment calculation for PO1. So now here you can see the expression formula for that is sum of column A into column B. We will multiply column A with column B, and then we'll take the sum, and then we'll divide that sum by sum of column B. So what it means? So this is column A and this is column B, right? So we'll multiply this 1.5 with this 1, 2.1 this with this 1, 2.4 with this 1, column A multiplied with column B, and then we'll add these products. So 1.5 into 1 plus 2.1 into 1 plus 2.4 into 1 plus 2.5 into 1 plus 2.4 into 1 plus 2.7 into 1, right? And here you can see that there is no entry, so we'll not multiply uh, uh, these values with this any number here because this is not mapped. So we'll multiply and add. So that sum will be divided by sum of column B. Now what is sum of column B? So this is column B. So if we take sum of this, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 plus 1 plus 1, 6 times it will be 6. So that sum will be divided by 6, right? So that sum when it is divided by 6, it will give us 2.27, right? So this you can verify. So you can verify that 1.1 into 1 plus 2.1 into 1 plus 2.4 into 1 plus 2.5 into 1 plus 2.4 into 1 plus 2.7 into 1. Then we'll divide that sum by sum of this column. So sum of column B is 6. We'll divide the sum by 6. So we'll get 2.27. So now PO1 attainment is 2.27 based on these two subjects. Basically, this subject is not contributing to PO1, so this PO1 attainment is only because of this contribution of this subject only, right? So similarly, we'll write all the subjects and we'll multiply column A with column B, and then we'll take the sum of the column B. We'll divide that sum by column B sum, so we'll get the PO attainment. So this is how we calculate the PO attainment. So this procedure will be repeated for now PO2, PO3, and for that case for all POs as well as PSOs, right? So any question, any query related to this?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, you have taken one subject, one course as a C3 and 01 in the course column, right?
Yes, yes.
And another subject is, or another course is a C3, that is 02, that is second one.
Right, right.
But
Similarly,
why?
similarly in this when we calculate
You can have more subjects, 2, C3, C4, like
yeah,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like,
right, right.
and you have calculated a PO1 attainment as 2.27. So
This
2.27 attainment is for these two subjects collectively, or it is for one subject only, that is C301.
actually here you can see that this second subject is not mapping with PO1. Okay.
Okay.
So both ways we can say that it is based on both subjects because second is not mapping, but we wanted to consider this, but actually it is not mapping. So that's why it is not contributing to PO1 attainment. But if we see PO9 attainment, you can see that ninth PO is mapped with all the COs, right? But in between, you can see for the other subjects, some POs are mapped with some of the COs of one subject or for the other subject. But this is the PO9, which is having mapping with all, right? So
Oh,
when we calculate for the PO9, these attainment level of all the COs will be coming into calculations. But here what we are writing, so when we consider all the subjects, so some subjects will be mapping, some subject will not map. So basically, we have to multiply only those these attainment CO attainment values with the corresponding mapping strengths which are mapping. So here we should not do that multiplication by 0. We should not do that kind of thing, right? So we have to just ignore if there is no mapping.
okay, sir. But
Yes.
say, but if we consider more number of subjects, that is more than one,
Yes.
then I think it won't be the pure attainment for that for a single subject. It will be the attainment for that particular semester,
Yes. Yes.
including all the subject.
Bilkul, bilkul. Right. You are right. So actually, when we want to calculate the PO attainment of a graduating batch,
Okay.
right? So then it will consider subjects of all the semesters when we are calculating for the graduating batch. So all the subjects will be written in this table. So there may be 35 subjects or 40 subjects like that, right?
But
We-
but for a single subject, if you want to calculate the PO attainment, then it will be, I think, only for C301
Yeah,
row.
Yes, yes. Then it will be only for
That
that
subject, of
those
course, that course only, that
that
subject
course,
course.
and we'll write that this is the contribution of this subject to the overall PO attainment.
Okay,
So
okay,
we'll basically represent that calculation like that we are calculating this PO contribution of this subject to the overall PO attainment
okay. Then
based on.
in that case also, if we want to calculate the overall PO attainment for that particular semester or for that particular undergraduate year, then we can keep adding all the PO attainment of all different courses for that particular semester or year, UG
we
year.
can we can calculate semester wise PO attainments, but when we have to calculate the overall batch,
Se-
so then instead of adding, so we should use this kind of calculation, because otherwise that may not be same calculation, because
it,
we are adding.
will it be a different one in that case?
It will be different one, because we are here we are dividing by the sum, so we are taking the weighted average. So if
Oh
we are
yes,
just
yes, yes,
adding, so it will, first thing is that it will go beyond 3, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Maximum
Perfect.
level
Yes,
should be 3. It will go beyond 3. If you are taking average of semester wise attainments, then again it will be second time average, so it will not be correct value, correct indication.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Got it, sir.
you can use the same table again for all the subject. Like if you want to calculate, say at the end of fourth semester, then you can use subjects of all 4 semesters up to that level. That
Yes, sir.
kind of,
Yes.
yes,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. Okay, any other query related to this PO attainment calculation?
Sir, I have one small doubt.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
uh, is there any AI tool which will calculate automatically like this?
AI is not required. Simply our Excel sheet will be able to do these calculations.
Okay.
So
So the manual this thing would be a little tedious. So if we first design the course outcomes, everything like that, the automatically the marks are entered per questions, everything like that. Can AI help us to calculate the attainment?
yeah, you can design Excel, even not need of AI tools. You can just use your Excel. You can design those sheets where you need to just enter the values, and those sheets can do your calculations.
Okay, sir. Okay,
So
thank you.
one time designing of Excel sheets may be required.
Mhm.
Okay? So then you can use that particular.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, please. Okay. Any other point? Like let's see this PO9 attainment calculation. So when we are going for say PO9, or for that case, first let's see PO2. So for PO1, so what we have done, so we have multiplied these CO attainment values with the this PO1 column, right? So this has been written as column B. So formula for PO1 has been written as sum of column A into column B divided by sum of column B. Now, when we want to calculate the PO, this attainment for PO2, so then again it will be sum of column A into column B. But in that case, for PO2, this column B will be written under this PO2 column, right? So this column B is floating. So when we are calculating for PO1, so column B will be this column. When we are calculating for PO2, column B will be considered this particular column. Similarly, for PO3, column B means this column, right? PO4 calculation, column B will be this. Column A will remain same. Column B is floating, right? So column A is showing the attainments of the COs. Now these COs are mapped with different POs with different these mapping strengths. So those mapping strengths will play their role while calculating the this PO attainment related to that subject or overall PO attainment, right? Now
So
in
can
case.
we so can we check it for PO6? Can you verify? It is showing 2.33.
Yes, so for PO6, it will be 1.1 into 1, right? Plus
Yes.
2.1 into 1, plus this 2.4 will not be taken into account because this is not mapped. So next will be 2.5 into 2, then 2.7 into 2. So we have to take the sum of that, and then we have to divide that sum by sum of column B. Now sum of column B, what will be sum of this column B? So it will be 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1, 6, right?
Divided by 6. Just so it is showing 2.33. Yes, it's coming.
Right. So
Yes.
here again you can see that in this particular column, some of the COs are not mapped with the PO, so we have to ignore those COs also. So we will not multiply this 2.4 by 0, just we'll ignore. So calculation will be 1.5 into 1 plus 2.1 into 1 plus 2.5 into 2 plus 2.7 into 2 divided by this sum, right? So this is the way we do the calculations. Like in here in this PO10 case, only this particular CO is contributing to the PO10. Okay, this CO3. And CO1, 2 or other COs are not okay, CO6 is also contributing. So we'll consider only those COs which are contributing to that particular PO attainment, and we'll multiply by the strength and then we'll divide by the sum of column B. And for PO10, this particular CO1 of second subject is also contributing. So this is how we do the these calculations. Okay, so these are the PO attainment calculations using direct method. So why it is called direct method? Because these CO attainments which we are considering, so these are calculated using direct assessment method. So that's why it is called PO attainment from direct methods, right? Next, is there any query? Otherwise, I will move to the next slide. Okay, so let's move further if there is no query. So now we'll be considering the indirect methods. Indirect methods, we have mainly surveys. So surveys of different types like program exit survey, which is also called graduate survey. Surveys from employer, which can be taken as during placements, or surveys from industry persons if students are say working as interns in some industry, or other kinds of surveys can be there. Alumni survey can be there. So in surveys, what we do, we need to ask the responders to give their answers in a scale like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we generally say that 5 means excellent and 1 means not satisfactory. So generally, we ask the uh, those responders to give their answers in the form of survey this scores 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So in the morning session, sir has shown that we can calculate the weighted average of those responses and we can get a score which will be showing the average response of for that particular PO, right? So that can be used, or there is another method also that once we have the responses, we can count that how many students have given the response as 5, how many students have given the response as 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So we need to then quantify basically those responses into these levels 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. So if 80% or above survey takers are giving 4 or 5 marks, then it can be considered as level 3. So this is the scheme which has been taken for basically converting those survey responses into different levels, right? So you can see that we can consider this kind of definition, that one level 1, 2, 3, we can consider this kind of calculation, that we can calculate how many percentage of the survey takers are giving the responses as 4 or 5. If 80% are giving responses as 4 and 5, so this 4 and 5 means this 5 means excellent, 4 means next to excellent, maybe very good, right? That kind of thing. Then it can be considered as level 3. 70% or above can be considered as level this 2. 60% or above can be considered as level 1. Again, this is up to us. We need to define, or as in the morning Patnaik sir was showing, that we can have some kind of weighted average, and from that weighted average score, we can again convert those weighted average scores into these levels 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 3 levels are there, so we can convert those average scores into these levels. In indirect methods, you can see in we are having up to 80% or above. In the previous, we talked of 70%. If the 70% of the students are mapping, so then we have considered that as level 3. But here we are going up to 80%, right? Because in indirect methods, so generally there is tendency of the students that they give some kind of result which is more positive, because most of the time students are or the survey takers are lenient towards the survey, so there is sometimes tendency to mark higher. So that's why it is considered as 80%. But these figures are variable, so we can change as per our local program scenario, right? So once we have quantified these survey responses into level 1, 2, 3, after that the calculation approach is same as we have used for the direct method. So let's see that also. So here we have considered that attainment is either level 1, level 2, or level 3, depending upon these responses. Like, so if we are having one survey, then we'll have 1, 2, 3 only. But if we are having more surveys, like program exit surveys there, employer surveys there, alumni surveys there, then there will be those quantification of individual surveys responses, and then finally we need to have the overall this PO attainment. So here we are talking of PO attainment directly from the surveys. So similarly, we can have CO attainment from the course exit survey, right? So, but here we are talking of PO attainment. So directly we are mapping our surveys with the POs. So now you can here see that these are the basically PO attainments from those surveys. So PO1 say it has been achieved as 3 from program exit survey. PO2 has been attained as 3 again. So this is the, we can see attainment of PO wise attainment from program exit survey. Similarly, this is, we can see the PO wise attainment from the employer survey. Then this is the PO wise attainments from the alumni survey, right? Now we have to calculate consolidated PO attainment from these surveys. For that consolidation, we need to assign weightages to different surveys. So here you can see that there are 3 surveys. So these have been assigned these weightages: 30%, 40%, and 30%. So 30% weightage will be given to the responses of program exit surveys, similarly 40% to this, then 30% to this. Again, these weightages are variable, so we need to fix weightages for our programs, and we need to justify that why we have fixed those particular averages, right? So once we have these weightages in place, then the calculation is same: 3 into 30% plus this is not mapped with this 40% part, so plus 3 into again 30%. So 3 into 30% is 0.9. This 3 into 30% is again 0.9. So 0.9 plus 0.9 divided by, now you can see PO1 has been mapped only to program exit survey, which is of 30%, and alumni survey, which is again 30%. So 30% plus 30% is 60%. So 60% means 0.6. So this is how we calculate weighted average for this PO1 attainment calculation using all these 3 surveys. Because this survey is not mapped, so we'll be not reflecting contribution of that survey either in the numerator or denominator. So this is giving us as 3, right? Similarly for this, 3 into 30% plus 2 into 30%, right? 3 into 30% will be 0.9, 2 into 30% will be 0.6. So 0.9 plus 0.6 divided by, so again, this contribution is 30%. So 0.9 plus 0.6 was 1.5 divided by 0.6. So it will give us this value 2.5. So that way we can calculate these PO attainments for all the POs using these responses of individual surveys, right? So any question up to this point? Any question related to these calculations, PO attainment calculations using surveys? So this is basically indirect PO attainment calculation. PO attainment calculation using indirect methods, right? Any question? Okay, so I suppose that every participant has understood this. So now we are having PO attainment based on indirect methods, as well as in previous slide we have seen PO attainment from the direct method. So finally we have to combine overall, we have to need to calculate overall PO attainment based on direct as well indirect method. So generally, it is trend that more weightage is given to the direct attainment part and less weightage is given to the indirect attainment part. So here you can see 80% weightage has been shown to the direct assessment part, indirect has been shown as the 20%. So based on these weightages, so we'll be calculating the overall PO attainment, which will be having weightages from both. So we'll first write PO attainments from the direct method. So this 2.27, 2.35. So these are basically these values. 2.27, 2.35, 2.327, 2.33. All these values basically represent the direct attainment, right? So indirect attainment is basically from this table. So you can see the 3, 2.5, 3, 2, 3. So these values are basically written here, right? So now for these calculations, so we'll multiply this 2.27 by 80%, that means 0.8 plus 3 into 0.2. So because this weightage is 100%, so that's why there is no need to take the average and all these are mapped. So 2.27 into 0.8 plus 3 into 0.2. So that will give us 2.42. So that is the final PO attainment, which is having both the contribution of direct methods as well as indirect methods. So 2.35 into 0.8 plus 2.5 into 0.2. So that will give us this PO attainment for PO2 using these direct and indirect methods, right? So this is how we calculate PO attainment, PSO attainment using direct as well as indirect approaches. And we'll have such final numbers. Okay, any question up to this point? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay, so any query related to this? Okay, so if there is no query, let's move further. So we are now having all these PO attainment levels. So what is next? What will be done next? So then based on the PO attainment calculation, so we need to analyze our attainment. So we'll be comparing our calculated attainments with the target attainments, right? So here you can see on this slide, there is one particular example where it was shown that target was 2.5, but the actual attainment was 2.3. So this is one example from SAR of a particular civil engineering program. So in here they have shown that they found 2.3 as the calculated attainment and the target was 2.5. So that means calculated attainment is less than 2.5. So we need to now analyze these attainments and then we have to basically identify what actions we need, what improvement we need, what next will be done. Okay, so here you can see what they have recorded. They have found that the overall attainment of PO1 is near but below the target value, right? So 2.3 is near to 2.5, but it is not basically crossing or equal to that. So then they found that what happened, why this attainment was low. So they found that in their particular scenario, so these courses, this mechanics of materials courses had CO attainment below the target level. Similarly, this course was from foundation courses, and similarly there were mathematical courses. One is this stat course, second is numerical methods course. So those mathematical courses also had attainment below the target value. So when some of the courses are below the target value, so that means overall PO will be less than the target value, right? So they identified that these are impacting the PO attainment. So first thing they identified why this PO attainment is less. So they identified the courses. Then what need to be done? So once we have identified, once we have analyzed our attainment values, then we need to identify suitable actions, corrective actions. So in this particular SAR, they propose these two actions. So after analysis, after diagnosis, it was found that there was insufficient connectivity between the theoretical concepts and their mathematical applications. So they identified these two actions. First action is contextual learning pedagogy is used in mechanics of materials to associate classroom teaching with real world experiences and improve the grasp of fundamental concepts. So this was the first action, that they modified the teaching learning methodology, learning pedagogy was modified, right? And second action they identified is that they introduced problems of civil engineering so that the civil engineering students are able to understand those mathematical subjects. So they included the problems of civil engineering in their courses. So this can be done at the say curriculum level or during the teaching learning process. So they included some problems of civil engineering so that those subjects are easily understood by the civil engineering students, right? So such kind of actions we need to identify, and we need to take these actions on the upcoming batches so that next time such scenario does not happen, right? But if targets are achieved, then we should be happy that whatever target we have kept, so that target is achieved. So and then subsequently, if targets are achieved say continuously 2 3 years, so then we can consider of revising and setting the higher targets as a part of continuous improvement, because the main aim of this gradation is continuous improvement. So we if we have set certain targets and we are able to achieve those targets, so that means improvement will be, we should set the higher targets for the next batches, right? So that way we can find that this target setting and continuous improvements go together in outcome based education. So if targets are not achieved, then we need to identify corrective actions. If targets are achieved, then we can set the higher targets after for the upcoming batches, right? So any question related to this?
No, sir.
Okay. So conclusion of this COT PO attainment discussion is that if we want to have effective attainment, then first we should understand the various kinds of assessment tools, what kind of assessment tool will be effective and based on our outcomes which we have designed, right? So depending upon COs or the other our outcomes which we want to basically evaluate, so that we need to identify the suitable assessment tools, and we need should make familiar our stakeholders with those assessment and attainment procedures, so that actual purpose, so it is not just for showing the numbers to say some team. So basic purpose of these attainments is to go to set the stage for continuous improvement over the years. So every year, so if we are doing the calculations, so we can see whether our results are improving or not, right? So if results are not improving, then we should take into account the corrective measures. If results are improving, then we should set the higher measures. And as pointed out by one of the participants, that it will be somewhat tedious if we are doing this manually. So we should use technology, ICT tools for these calculations, so that labor part is not overpowering us, and we are having sufficient time for other works also, right? So with this, I am concluding this first part of the session. And after now, we'll be having that activity part. So I will be giving one activity to all of the participants based on these slides only. So you are required to do that calculation, those activities which involves PO attainment calculation. Before I move towards the activity, so if you have any questions, so you can ask that question. Okay, so if there is no question, so let me open the activity slide. So we will be doing COPO attainment calculation, COPO attainment activity. So what we will be doing, so let me just show to you. So using these definitions, first we will be calculating the CO attainments. So you can see that similar table is there. So I have already entered the scores of various students. So now I have considered here 6 students, right? So scores of these 6 students in different these assessment the tools are given. So based on these scores of students, we have to write these CO values. From these CO values, we'll be going for the CO attainment calculation. From this CO attainment calculation, we'll go for the PO attainment calculation of that particular batch, and then we'll consider this particular indirect survey part. So this survey slide is there, and then we'll combine direct and indirect. We'll find the overall PO attainment, right? So this is the activity which we'll be doing together. So I request all the participants to pay attention and do this activity. So first thing is I request all the participants to take screenshot of this slide or take photo of this slide, because this slide will be required again and again. So just let me know when you have taken the screenshot so that I can move further. Have you taken the screenshot of this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's move further. Kindly do these calculations using that slide. So I will again show calculation for first column.
So this is the second slide, no, sir? You are showing.
This is second slide.
Okay, sir.
Using that first slide, we'll be doing these calculations in the second slide, right? So here you
Yes.
can see, we have to fill these two rows. First, these two rows. Sorry, these two rows we need to enter the values from the data which is given, right? So this row is showing the number of students above cutoff. For this column, what is cutoff? Cutoff is 25. So how many students are above cutoff in this? You can see. So 25 and above. So this S1 is 30, S2 is 24, 4, right? So now what will be CO value for this? So what is total number of students here? It's 6, right? Total number of students is 6. So 4 by 6 multiplied by 100. So what will be this value?
2.
4 by 6 multiplied by 100.
66.
66.
Level 2 it will.
Yeah, 66% will be this value. And you can see 66 means what is the attainment level?
Level 3. It will come level 3.
No, 66 is level 3 will start from 70%, right?
Okay, so it will level 2.
So 66 means it is below 70, so it's above 60, so that means level 2.
Correct.
Right? So we'll fill here level 2. Right? So similar to this, so we have to enter all these values. So I will give you say maybe 5 minutes. So after during these 5 minutes, you kindly do calculations at your level. Then we'll fill. I will ask these values from the participants, and we'll fill here. Right?
Yes, sir. So this is the second slide.
Yes, this is the second slide. So I request all the participants to calculate these values. Like I have calculated for first column 4 and 2. So this is required to be completed. These 2 rows are required to be completed.
Yes, sir. Next slide, please, sir.
So first we'll be doing this. Then we'll move to the third slide.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So I am giving 5 minutes for this slide completion. Then we'll move to the next slide. Because in the next slide, we need values which we are calculating in this slide. So next slide we'll be able to solve only if we are doing these calculations. Yes, please let me know. Have you completed?
Completed, sir.
Thank you. Okay, please let me know what should be entered here at this value.
3, sir.
It is 4. Just a second. 20, 1, 2, 3. 3.
only.
3.
3.
So
Yes.
here CO value
1.
1.
Percentage is 50, sir. So attainment level is 1. I
1.
think 1.
Yes. Okay. What will be value here?
4.
So it will be 4, right?
4,
Attainment
4
will
and
be
2.
2 attainment 2.
2.
2.
2. Yeah. Okay. For the next
4
column,
and
please.
4 4
Again 4.
4
It is 4. Okay.
2
For the 4,
2.
level 2
level 2. Okay.
3.
For this
3
particular,
and 1
3
1
1.
and
1.
1 value will be 1.
Yes.
For the next column,
6.
So
6
6.
6 3
6 and 3.
6 and 3.
6 and 3.
6 means 3, right? Yes.
And
2 and 0
2 and 0.
2 and 0
2, 0.
2,
Right.
0.
0.
So here CO value will be less than 50 percent of the 2 by 6 is 1 means 33%. So CO value will be 0.
3 1
Here
Next 3 and 1. 3 and
3
1.
1
3 1,
1
right? Next, please.
5 3.
This
5 3, sir. 5.
5
5
and 3
3. Okay.
Next 3
Next
1.
3 1
3 1. Okay.
2 0.
2 0
2 0. Okay.
Then 4 2,
4
sir.
2.
4 2
4 2.
4 2 again
Right. Next,
4
please.
2 4 2
4 2. Okay. Next, please.
6 1 6 3
6 3. Okay. So I request all the participants to check these values because I am not having any answer for this reference. So it's what you have written. So it should match. So if kindly see all the participants, are you having same answer?
So I think, sir, third last one is, I think, going wrong. It should be 6 and 3. Third last.
This
SAECO3. Ah, yes. It is, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 10 is the cutoff. So it will be 6, 3.
yeah, 10 of 10 is cut off. So all are above cut off. So right, it
So
should
6,
be
3.
6
6
and
and 3.
3.
3.
Okay. Yeah, so similarly, I request to all the participants to match your values with these values. So if there is any variation, we can discuss.
Sir, small submission, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, regarding this previous slide, CO attainment calculation, if it is equal to, there is no sentence called equal to, equivalent greater than 60, like that should be justified, no, sir? If it is
Yeah, so
50%, no.
you can consider equal to and greater than. So this you
Yes,
can
sir. Okay,
consider
sure.
70%
Sure.
of.
Okay. The
So in
statement is clear
equal.
now, it will be very good, sir.
So if you can consider this as equal
Equal,
to.
greater than or equal to 60%, greater than or equal to
Yeah.
70%. It should be
Yeah,
justified.
like this. You can consider like this for
Okay,
all,
sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
right? So you can consider or let me copy paste. So basically, that threshold is included in that,
Okay, sir. Sure.
right? So you can now have this screenshot of this.
Yeah, 0 is okay, sir. Less than 50%.
Yes,
That statement is clear. Okay, sir.
right? Yeah. So I think there is no issue in these calculations, CO values, right? So now let's move to the next slide. Next slide is we have to consolidate CO attainment from all assessment tools, right? So what is CO1 attainment from test 1? For that, again, we need to refer to this. CO1 attainment from test 1 is column 1. So CO1 attainment is 2, right? So we'll write this 2 into this this particular cell. So this cell is for CO1 based on test 1, right? So you can again take screenshot of this because this is required for the entries into the next slide. You can take screenshot or photo of this particular slide. Have you done this? Okay, so what is test 2? CO1 attainment from test 2? Anyone? CO1 attainment from test 2.
3. It's 3.
Okay, any other answer?
Sir, can you please go back? I will take screenshots.
Yes, please take screenshot of this.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Test 2, it is 4.
Okay, sir. Please go forward, sir.
So I want to write now CO1 attainment from test 2.
It is 0,
From
sir.
this. So you can see test 2 is not mapped to CO1.
Yes, it
right?
is 0, 0. It is 0.
0.
It is not 0. We'll write dash. So dash means it is not mapped.
Okay.
Okay, so 0 means here you can see 0 we have found using these calculations. So this is 0, right? Like here you can see this 0 is there for the CO2 from this M. Okay, right? So when it is not mapped, so we'll write the dash, right? So it is not mapped like this. Okay, so what is this CO1 attainment from model? Model means M in this particular table.
3.
M is denoting model. So here it is 3.
3.
CO1 is from this M is 3. Right? Okay, so for final, what is CO1 attainment from the final?
0.
0, 0.
It is 0,
0.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now overall attainment. So it will be 2 into 10%. So that means 0.2, right? Plus this is not mapped. So this 3 into 30%. So that means 0.9,
0.9.
right?
Yes.
Plus 0 into 50. So it will
0.
be 0. 0. So now sum of these three values will be divided by, this sum will be divided by, so CO1 is mapped to this 10%, 30% and 50%. So this total is 90%. So sum will be divided by 0.9. Okay, so calculate this value. 1.1 divided by 0.9. So what will be this value?
1.22.
1.22.
1.22.
22.
Yes. So similarly, complete these remaining rows. So again, I will be waiting for maybe 5 minutes again to complete this table.
So second one is coming as CO2 coming as 1.83.
Okay, so what will be written here?
1.
Dash.
1. 1, yes. Then dash.
Then dash.
Right. Next.
0.
Okay. Next.
2.
2.
2. Okay. Overall.
0.1 plus 1. 0.1
What
plus
is
1. Finally,
Finally
1.83. 1.83.
1.83.
83.
It should be 0.1 plus.
It's 1.1 divided by 0.6.
No, no. It,
1.
why 0.6? Why 0.6?
0.6.
Our answer is 1.22.
Just a
Because-
second. 0.1
It is
multiplied.
1.1 only, sir.
Divided by 0.9.
Divided by 0.9.
uh,
Because this value is 0 from the calculation, but it is mapped to CO2, right? So this 30% has to be included.
Oh,
So it will be
yes, yes.
50% plus 30% plus 10%. Only will
Okay.
exclude this which is not mapped.
Correct, sir. Right.
Right? So it will be 1.22 again. Okay, what about this entry?
First one dash
First one dash, yes.
213.
It is 1,
Sorry, first one 2.
2,
Test 2, then
2,
1
then 1,
and 3.
3. Okay, so others please check. Are you getting same values? Then here, what will be the value here?
0.1. Sorry, sir. 0.2
0.2,
plus 0.3
0.3 plus
1.5.
1.5. Yes.
I think 0.3. Okay.
Divided by
0.9.
0.9. Okay, equal to
2.22.
equal to
2.22.
2.22. Yes.
2.22.
Yes.
Okay, others please check. Are you getting same values? Okay, and then CO4.
CO4
Dash
dash,
Dash.
then 2,
2,
2.
3, 2.
What should be here?
2, sir. 2.
2. Okay, then calculation. What is answer here?
0.2
0.2,
plus 0.9.
0.9 plus
1
1
divided by 0.9.
divided by 0.9 equal to
2.33.
2.33. Right. CO5.
So dash 113.
113. Okay. Then
2.1.
0.1.
0.3
0.3 plus
0.3
1.5
is
plus
1.5.
divided by 0.9.
9 equal to
2.11. 2.11.
2.11. Okay.
Sir, why we should divide with 0.9, sir?
Actually, we are dividing this by the sum of weightages which are mapped with that CO. Like CO5, it is
Okay,
not
sir.
mapped with test 1. It is mapped with test 2, which is of 10% weightage, model of 30%, final of 50%. So this 50 plus 30 plus 10 is 90.
Okay. Okay, sir.
90% is 0.9. So for here in you can see for every CO, either test 1 or either test 2 is not mapped, right? So
Okay,
both
sir.
the tests are having weightages of 10%. That why total is 90%, means 0.9 for all.
Good.
means,
Good
means
thing, sir.
dash means not to be considered, and when it is even 0, that percentage has to be considered.
Yes, that has to be considered. Zero is basically coming from this table, basically.
Okay, previous table.
That means
Yes.
students were not able to perform. That's why this attainment is coming as zero.
0. Okay, but it is contributing in the percentage term.
Yeah.
But
So
student has not performed well, but
yes,
it is
yes.
contributing in total percentage.
Yeah, there was opportunity for students to attain this
Oh
30%,
yes,
right?
yes,
But they
yes.
could not attain. Yes, right. So you can match your answers, because I am not having any reference answers. So I'm just entering whatever you are saying. So if all are having same answer, that means it will be correct. So please compare these values with your calculations. Are you getting the same?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now this is CO attainment using direct method. So now let's move further. So again, click photo of this or take screenshot of this slide. This is required for next slide. Take screenshot or photo of this slide. So next slide is this particular PO attainment from this CO attainment, right? So this all these entries which I am showing here. So these highlighted entries are COPO mapping entries. So these entries are from COPO mapping table, right? So we are considering that for this particular subject, say this is the COPO mapping. These are the assumed values, random assumed values, right? So now we are considering this particular only single course. So having 5 COs, right? So here in this column, we have to enter those values which we have calculated on our previous slide. So what was the attainment of CO1 here?
1.22.
1.22. So we'll write here 1.22, right? So what is the attainment of CO2?
1.22.
1.22.
Same, right? So CO3,
2.2. 2.22.
2.22, CO4,
2.33.
2.33.
2.33, CO5,
2.11.
2.11.
2.11, right? Okay, so now use this particular expression PO1 we have to calculate here, and we have to write the PO attainment for this PO1. So it is column A into column B, sum of that divided by sum of column B. So 1.1 into 1 plus column B is this, right? So this is column B for PO1. This is column A. So we have to multiply column A with column B, then take the sum, and then divide that sum by sum of only column B. Okay. So it will be basically, so I am writing here. So it will be 1.22 into 1 plus 1.22 into 1 plus 2.22 into 1 plus 2.33 into 1 plus 2.11 into 1. What is that sum? So divide that sum by sum of column B. So what is sum of column B? Column B sum is 5. Right? So divide that sum by this 5. So you will get the PO attainment.
1.82.
So 1.82.
1.82. 82.
1.82.
82.
Okay. Others, please check. Are you getting same?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir. 1.82.
1.82. Okay, very good. Okay, similarly calculate for this PO2, right? This column. So when we are calculating for PO2, this column B will be this column. So column B will be here, right? So now this will be column B. Column A will remain same. So when we are calculating for PO2, this will be column B. When we will be calculating for PO3, so this will be column B, right?
1.82.
So for here, it will be
1.86.
1.22 into 1 plus 1.22 into 1 plus
1.86.
2.22 into 1, 2.33 into 1, 2.11 into 2, right? And sum of column B will be now 6.
So
1.86.
1.86. 1.86.
1.8.
86.
Okay, so this way kindly complete all these entries. Complete this table. Again, take 2-3 minutes to complete this. So what is value for PO3? You can answer.
1.82.
For PO3.
1.82.
Okay. Others, please check whether you are getting the same. PO4.
Sir, should we divide the sum with 5, no, sir? isn't it?
No, not always 5.
Oh, yes, sir. Same thing, sir. I have the right.
Yes, sir.
This
It is
First column by 5.
1.82.
First
For
column by
PO2,
5. Yeah,
yes, sir.
PO2 it will be sum of this column. It will be 6.
6.
For PO3 it will be divided by 15.
So 1.82 is correct, sir.
This 1.82 is correct.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir. 1.82.
Okay. PO4. What is the answer for PO4?
1.91.
1.91. Okay.
Yes, sir. 1.91.
Right. PO5.
1.86.
1.86.
86.
Okay. Next.
This.
1.775.
Currently round off up to 2 decimal places.
1.8. 1.78.
1.78.
Right. Okay. Next, please. Next, there will be dash
Yes.
because no CO is mapped to this PO. Okay. PO8.
1.67.
Yes, sir. 1.67.
1.67. Next, you can see that all
Next
one.
is same. Yes, sir. Same as first one. 1.82.
Yeah, PO9 mapping is same as PO1, so you can write as same 1.82. Right, PO10.
1.11.
2.22, sir.
2.22. It will remain same, right? So it will be multiplied by 2 and divided by 2.
It is next
2.22.
is 1. Next is 1.22.
Next is 1.22. Then again,
2.11.
2.11.
2.11.
oh, next is 2.11. And this PSO1 is same as PO4, you can see.
Yes, sir.
Right, so you can write same value. So PO4 was 1.91, right? PSO2 is again same to
Same.
PSO1, 1.92. PSO3 is same to PO1, so it
PO1.
will be
Correct.
1.8, right?
Yes, sir.
So any doubt in these calculations to any participant? Okay, so once you are done with this, now let's move further. So this we have calculated the PO attainment using the direct methods, right? So now PO attainment calculation using the indirect method. So in the indirect methods, we have these surveys, and from survey responses, I have entered these calculations. So I have entered these quantification of surveys. So let's assume these quantifications. So this I have explained how to get convert those responses of surveys into 3 to 1. Okay, so using that methodology, say we get this particular response from these different surveys, right? So now calculate PO attainment for this. So it will be same 3 into 30% means 0.3. 3 into 30% will be 0.9 plus 3 into 30% 0.9 divided by sum of this 30% and 30%, that will be is 0.6, right? So 0.9 plus 0.9 divided by 0.6. So that will be the answer for PO1
3.
attainment. So what is this answer?
3.
3, right? Similarly, calculate these PO attainments for all these other columns. So what will be answer here?
It is 1.5 divided by 0.5.
1.5 divided by 0.6.
Yes.
So division will be by 30% plus 30%, 60%, 0.6.
2.5.
It is 2.5.
2.5, yes.
Okay. What will be answer in the next block?
It seems to be.
So now division will be by 1.
3, sir.
3, sir. Answer is 3.
Answer will be 3. Yes. It will be 3 into 0.3.9 plus 3 into 40% 1.2 plus 0.9. So 0.9 plus 1.2 plus 0.9 divided by this, all three are contributing. So divided by 100% means 1. So it will be 3 only. Okay, PO4.
2.
2.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next PO5. Again, I am not having answer. So you can match among your calculations. So I am entering as you are saying.
The previous one is, I think it will be 1.8.
PO4.
Yes. 0.9 plus 0.8 plus
0.9 plus 0.8 plus 0.3.
3. It's going to be 2 divided by 1. Yes, it is 2.
2, right? It will be
Yes.
2. Yes. Next. Eight plus 0.9. Next, what is answer?
2.6.
2.6.
2.6.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
And 4.
2.4.
So
Please check again.
2.3, sir. 2.3.
2.3.
2.3.
2.3.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is same as PO5. PO7 is same. So it will be 2.6, right? PO8 is same as PO3. It will be 3. PO9 is same as PO6. So it will be 2.3. PO10 is same as PO3. Again 3. PO11. Okay, so calculate for PO11.
One point three.
It will be 1.3. Okay, so PO12.
2 point,
Yes, please. 2.2.4.
2.4.
2.4.
Yes. So next. PSO1.
3, sir.
3. Yes. Similarly, it will be 2. It will be 1. Right? Because it is matching with only 1. So 3 into 0.4 divided by 0.4. So it will remain 3. Right? So these are the indirect PO attainments. Okay. Any doubt in these calculations? Any participant? Okay, so now let's move further. So what we have done, so we have calculated direct attainment on this slide, indirect attainment on this slide. So now finally, we have to combine. We have to calculate overall attainment using both direct as well as indirect part. So direct weightage we are giving as 80%, indirect weightage we are giving 20%. So I will be copying these values. So these are the direct attainment values, right? So these direct attainment values I am copying and I will be pasting here, right? Similarly, indirect calculations we have done here. So I'm taking these indirect calculations from this point and pasting here, right? Okay, so now calculate this. So using this expression 0.8 plus 0.8 into direct attainment. So this 1.8 into 80 plus 3 into this 20%. 1.82 into 80% means 0.8, right? Plus 3 into 0.2. So what will be this value? Okay, so kindly let me know, have you done these calculations? So what will be this calculation? So anyone who has done this calculation? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, you're audible. That screen is. Yes, now
Yeah.
it is. Yes, it is
For
there.
PO1, what will be the answer? 1.82 into 0.8 plus 3 into 0.2. So what will be that answer? So let's complete. This is the last slide, last table.
2.056.
Yes.
2.0.
0.56.
It's 6.
Okay, 5, 6 we can write as 6, right?
Yes.
Okay, so next PO2,
2.088.
2.088 we can write
88.
as 2.088 we can write as 9. We can round off up to 2 decimal places.
Okay.
Next,
Again same. 2.06.
2.06. Okay,
Yes.
next
1.856. 1.86. Sorry. 1.86.
okay, next
Upper one is sir 2.5, na sir?
what is your query?
Indirect is 2.6 or 5?
2.6.
Okay.
Sir,
2.
PO4, there is a correction.
What
PO4 value.
what should be its value?
It should be 1.928. It's 93.
1.93.
Hmm.
Yeah, actually it should be in between of this 1.9 and 2.
So next is 2.
Please,
2.
yes, please PO4 you can check other participants who are doing calculations. PO5 is
2.08.
2.08. Okay.
No, 08. So it is going to be 2 only.
No, it should be more than 2.09 because here you have shown as 2.09 when the indirect was 2.5. Now indirect is 2.6. It will be more than this 2.09. Direct is same. So what is value for this PO5? Please check.
2.008 is correct.
Then PO2 you should check again.
Yes. Yes.
2.008 POA.
1.86, 2.8 plus 2.6 into 2. It is 2.008. That means 2.0
0.
1 we can write.
Yes.
Okay, then
Sir,
what is
PO2 is 1.988. 1.988 means 2.
1.99?
Yes.
1.99, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, please check for PO6. PO6
1.884.
1.88. Okay,
4.
we will write up to 2 decimal only. PO7
0.52.
0.52.
actually now if you see here, there is no value from the direct component, right? There is value only from the indirect component. So we are calculating this final table, right? So for the graduating batch, there should not be this type of scenario that we are not having any value from a one particular component. There should be sufficient planning so that we have PO attainment from direct as well as indirect methods, right? So this kind of scenario is not recommended. Okay, so I intentionally kept this kind of scenario to highlight this point that there should be sufficient number of assessment tools for both direct as well as indirect so that we have values here, right? So in this case, now if you consider only indirect part, so then you will be having that attainment as 2.6, but that will not be correct because direct part is not reflecting. So if you take 0 for direct, then it will be 0.5 something which was saying. That is again not indicative of the exact these values, right? So for the time being, we can write it as 2.6 because it is only contributed by indirect, but it should not happen that we are having only contribution from one component, right? So this kind of scenario is not suggestible. Okay, what are the values for the other PO8 and PO9?
1.936. 1.936.
1.936 means we can write as 4. Okay, next PO9. PO9
2.376 is 2.38.
2.38. Okay, quickly please let me know for PO10. For PO10, what will be the answer?
2.38.
2.38. Okay, PO11.
1.24.
1.24. Okay. PO12.
6.
Sir, there is a correction in PO9 value.
Okay. What should be this value?
1.916 means
One
92.
one point.
1.916
This
means
value.
92.
PO9.
Yes.
Actually, it should not be more than 2.3. 2.9 is again not correct. Please check
No,
again.
1 point.
Okay.
1.916.
1.91692 we can write.
92. Yes.
Again, okay.
P12, PO12,
Yes.
2.17.
17. Okay.
56.
PSO1.
2.2. 191.
2.12.
2.12.
12.
Okay. This value, PSO2.
PSO2, 1.94, sir.
1.94. PSO3.
1.66.
1.66. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I think you can compare these calculations because I'm not having reference answer. So this is how we do PO attainment calculation. So once we are done with this, so we have to compare these attainments with actual attainments with the target attainments, and then we have to analyze and take corrective actions or further actions, right? So any doubt up to this point? So
So,
about this.
I have a doubt, sir. You said PO7. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
You said PO7, sir, PO7. So this could not happen. That subject is there. There is no attainment for that. But reverse
Yeah.
is reverse possible for the subject
Means
attainment will be there, but as per that indirect attainment may be zero in that case. I think is it possible?
No, that is not possible.
no. Zero is something else because at this table we are considering all the subjects, all the assessment tools, right?
Correct. Yes, sir. Yes, got
Yeah.
it.
So we'll have some value from some of the subjects or from some of the tools because these are not. This calculation is not at the subject level. This is at the program level. So
Okay.
at the program level, we must have sufficient evidences of this PO attainment.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. Any other query from any of the participants before we close?